Hello, my name is Tyler Payne, and this is my favorite part of the brain assignment for the psychobiology class. I'm currently in my basement filming this on a tripod in my band room where I play drums. And if you explore my YouTube channel a little bit more, you'll see some videos of me playing drums and playing with my band and stuff as I hit my cymbal in the first few seconds. This is also my first time ever talking in a room by myself, so I apologize if this is pretty unbearable. So the part of the brain that I'm choosing to talk about is the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex it's part of the frontal lobe, and it is responsible for planning complex cognitive behavior, expressing personality, making decisions, moderating social behaviors, and ultimately its importance is in the area of executive functions. It relates to the ability to differentiate between conflicting thoughts, determine right and wrong, assess future consequences of current activities, and it provides the ability to express urges. And the reason that I decided to do the prefrontal cortex is, as I was doing research on ADHD, I found that it was one of the most prominent brain areas and centers of research in relation to ADHD. And that's an important subject for me because it's something that my family and I have struggled with for a while. My dad has ADHD and has had it his whole life. My sister has ADHD. I have ADHD, and my sister's son, who is 5 years old, was just diagnosed with ADHD as well. So it's a big part of my family, and actually Fox 19 News ran a story about ADHD, and my family was featured on it. So if you're interested, I can find a link about that because we were actually on the news talking about it. And the article I found for my article research paper talked about rats and how they would damage their right prefrontal cortex, and it led to them having similar symptoms of people with ADHD. And they did this so they could test different treatment options for people with ADHD. So so the article I reviewed, sorry, I got lost in my notes. So they were looking to see if playing, more specifically roughhouse type playing, like basically getting out a lot of energy and roughhousing, could make rats a little bit more attentive and kind of diminish some of the ADHD symptoms that they had received from the prefrontal cortex damage. And what they found was that it was pretty effective form of treatment for them. It made them more attentive to the environmental stimulus. It made them less active when they got more play. So when they were monitoring them, the ones that got more play were less active than the ones that did not get more play. So it kind of shows that it can reduce those symptoms, and it can potentially be translated to human children, which would be great because the psychostimulants kind of reduce play, and drugs like Adderall and all that are not really the best for people. I take it personally. I'm on 20 milligrams, and I've been on 20 milligrams since I was in 8th grade, and I'm 22 years old now. And my doctor keeps asking me if I want to up it, and I don't want to because I really don't want to be on that stuff once I graduate graduate college. I don't like the drug. I think it's addictive. I think it's bad, and I'm pretty worried about my nephew getting on it at such a young age, because I think he has to be like 6 years old or something before they put him on it. But since he was diagnosed, he likely will be put on it. So I think that if play and other avenues can be explored, I think they should be instead, rather than just putting these kids on drugs, especially because I wrote down some side effects of Adderall. I mean, it affects your appetite, you can lose weight on it, it can raise your blood pressure, it can change your mood, make you depressed, which I personally relate to a lot, because around my freshman year when I was first getting used to taking it, I was pretty depressed. I wasn't eating much at all, and it was tough because I was doing better in school because of the Adderall, but I was also suffering in my my personal life with friends and stuff because I just didn't have much motivation to do anything, and I was so hyper focused on my schoolwork. And another side effect that I didn't list on here that I've experienced with Adderall quite a bit is that it affects my heart rate quite a bit. Like any situation with that introduces adrenaline affects my heart rate. I've had it so bad that like people can see my heart rate from across the room, like it'll be shaking my t-shirt. And for all these reasons, I would really like to stop taking it, especially because more and more research and documentaries are being made about how dangerous Adderall can be. So the fact that these people were looking for different forms of treatment for it, I thought was really noble, and I think it's pretty important for the future, especially because it seems like more and more people are being diagnosed with ADHD. And so their research that they did also further solidified the notion that damage or malfunctions in the prefrontal cortex can cause ADHD type symptoms. And I think this was really important because further research can also explore more into the prefrontal cortex and hopefully alleviate more symptoms of ADHD and come up with better treatment options like the playing they exercise. And this could potentially be implemented in schools, and we could potentially see better results without pharmaceutical drugs. And I just want to cite some of the sources I got this information from. Psychotherapist.com. Matthew Dulitz wrote a good article about kind of what the frontal cortex is responsible for. And then the article that I wrote about in my research paper, which was cited in there, was by Panksept et al. There was a bunch of other names, like 4 other people wrote on it. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Well, it was 7 minutes. I was worried I wasn't going to fill 4. So I apologize if this is too long and I'm taking up too much of your day. I've enjoyed what I've learned from this class, and I just want to say thank you.